Josiah, this is sort of a difficult pod for me because this is the last time you and I are going to talk for months. So
yeah, it's really sad.
While the nation has been enjoying consistent, jubilant interaction with us on the weekly basis that we have so committed ourselves to, you and I are, in fact, in what can only be described as, I guess, something truly ironic. You and I are the ones that are forced to miss each other. You know? It's not fair.
Wait. Are you teeing up the I Miss You episode?
Yeah.
Because I did not have the energy for that right now.
It's coming in, man. No, but it's like we've been very upfront about the fact that we are batch recording every episode. So we're doing the rest of the pod in like a week, basically.
Yeah. So the weeks after this will also be part of this sesh, even though you're saying that this is the last one. Yeah. Whatever we do the week after this will also have been basically from now until damn it will all have been recorded in this one weekend.
Yeah, exactly. This was the only season that mattered. The rest of Blink 155 season.
I don't even know what number we're on, but it would be funny if I said, the next however many number of episodes.
Yeah. But then you have to do like addition and subtraction and stuff. It's
and
not
to know
what
happen. Number it is. I never even know what day it is anymore, so I don't know how I would know.
Right. Yeah. Plus, we're living our own like beautiful vacation lives right now.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So where are you? Aren't you like as people are listening to this podcast? Okay.
What day is it today?
Driving through America.
Today is what? May?
Yeah.
May the 4th
today is
you?
May. Yeah.
So today's what? March 8th?
Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah, so I'm going to be I'm currently driving I don't want to. Should I say where? What if someone stalks me?
Right, it's true.
I'm going to be driving. No, it's fine. I'm going to be driving from Austin to Nolans.
Oh,
which is how I've already learned how to say it because in this time frame I'm already there.
You're already there, and it's genius. Do you plan on purchasing a Keep Austin Weird shirt? Perhaps an Austin City Limits shirt. Which aspect of amazing Austin personalities that I know you love do you plan on adopting during your time in Texas?
My entire time in Austin will be spent hiding from a certain batch of relatives who this elder relative, not on my side of the family, but this elder relative is like this like funky blues guy who loves to jam and is like extremely centrist and loves to like bust out the acoustic guitar and sing the SpongeBob theme song. I've only ever met him once, but anytime we go to Austin, they're like, "You're in Austin? You got to hang out with this guy." So I'm going to be like literally like ducking on social media to make sure that they don't tag us and make us hang out with this guy because I cannot cope with it.
Is it going to be hard for you to be on such a delightful, weird, kooky trip and not be documenting it extensively?
That actually one time that happened, we went to Glasgow, and we happened to see that our friends from Ottawa, Pregnancy Scares, were playing there that night. Shout out Ottawa, shout out Pregnancy Scares, rest in peace. But we were like, oh, well, they won't notice. Like, we're going to be surprising them in a couple hours. They won't notice. But then we posted, like, our dinner because it was, like, I don't know, a burger dipped in Buckfast or whatever. and then they immediately saw it and were like, wait, you're in Glasgow? What the fuck? Come to our show. So we kind of ruined the surprise. But, yeah, I don't know.
So you've learned better. You're going to be more selective with your posts.
Probably not. I'm definitely going to do posts and then have to hang out with the SpongeBob guy.
People are going to know that you did it because they're looking at your story right now and it's full of this guy singing SpongeBob. You're like live streaming this from the Blink 155 Instagram account.
Sam, I do want to talk to you briefly about performative feminism.
Oh, great. Yes.
This isn't actually the intro. I just thinking to a road trip I went on a few years ago. For some reason, I keep remembering this, and I haven't brought it up yet.
Yeah, and this was so there is a bridge there. Like, that honestly sounded like a hard cut, like, to me. Like, if I was listening to the pod, I'd be like, what happened between the like, sort of SpongeBob chatter and the feminism conversation? Like, what was the bridge
Well, mostly
there?
I was thinking, like, we're going to have nothing to vamp about because
we've
done so many goddamn things in a row. But, okay. A few years ago, we went on a road trip. We went all around the United States.
Is this you and feminists? Like, where does the feminism fit?
Me and the wife.
Okay.
The wife, femme.
I was at lunch today with someone who
Lunch or just lunch?
it was, to be totally honest, it was a lunch, and this person kept referring to their wife as wifey, like just so considerate, little wifey, and I was like, what? Anyway, I just thought
I
it
love
was
when people
important.
say hubby too. But
Hubby.
I've noticed that I feel like I'm in this situation where I'm married to someone who doesn't want to speak disgustingly gross all the time, and I always want to speak disgustingly gross. But like, probably in those other relationships where people say hubby, the husband is really embarrassed and grossed out. I feel like you can't have both at once because that's just too much.
True. So wait, so what do you call Sarah, like, besides La Femme or whatever?
I don't know. I mean, that's not important, but
Oh, sick. Okay, I love that we finally touched a third rail of, like, personal details. So,
no, like there's shit like how we talk to our cat and things like that that like cannot be repeated because
right.
it's
You know what? I don't
grotesque.
want to know. I'm so sorry.
But anyways,
you and the fam are on this
Me
road
and the
trip.
ball and chain, aka my equal, whom I look up to. Fucking thorn in my fucking side, buddy. But I respect her.
This is a good character.
Yeah, it's a good. I haven't quite defined it yet, but I think we'll get to it.
He's really not sure kind of where he stands on the whole thing.
He's like he can't stop talking like he works on the job site, but he also like recently became a feminist, which is what I'm trying to get to, which is that
Right. Can't live with them. Gotta respect the emotional labor that they do around.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, there's the wedding ring, and then there's suffering, and then there's the suffragette movement, which I also respect equally.
this
So we were on
guy's
this road
cool.
trip. We were on this road trip to a wedding that happened to be like a friend of mine who knows a lot of like very hip people. I would say it was. I don't even want to say where it is. I don't want to give away too many details. But we were at a wedding. There was like a lot of like very hip people there. We met this guy who we totally hit it off with that weekend. He's like an alternative comedian. He's one degree of separation away from all of my favorite alternative comedians. He was totally a cool guy. And then like we hung out with him. We kind of kept popping into cities with him throughout the road trip and kind of hanging out with him again and again. And then a year later, we were in his city again, and we just like didn't look him up. I don't know why. I think we were just busy, or we just didn't think of it because he was still kind of just like an acquaintance that we hung out with a few times the year before. And then he unfollowed us on everything, and like I feel like he was subtweeting us and stuff. He was like so pissed off, but that's kind of besides the point. My point is, when I first met this guy, we were at a house party after the wedding. It was like a dinner house party. Like everyone was just like chilling, drinking, talking in a cabin. It was super comfortable. There was a fire blazing, and he was just posted up in the middle of the party, like at like 10 p.m. in peak party. He was posted up reading a Joan Didion book.
Hell yes.
And I was like, that is like, I have never literally seen performative feminism performed in such a way. It was incredible.
That's
I think
an
about it all the
performance.
time.
That's literally
Like,
the
every once
greatest
in a while, I just-
feminist performance of all time.
Every once in a while, I think back, like, was that motherfucker really reading a Joan Didion book in the middle of a party? It's like insane to me.
Did it work? Like, was he pulling?
I mean, he definitely did give off the vibe after that, like he loved to pull, if you know what I mean. It was not like, it was definitely not like he's trying to like fill in the void that has been created inside of him through toxic masculinity.
Right.
It's more like he was trying to fill in some other people.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, respect to that guy. That's such a like. I love that as a move.
It's so insane. It's like if it's like the kind of thing you'd write in a movie and be like, no, we got to take that out. It's too ridiculous. I was looking around the party like, bro, me and I don't know. I'm done.
I'm gonna think about that man for a long time.
Isn't it a haunting image? Like, especially being there was extra insane.
Yeah, it's good. I love him.
I'll tell you who he is off mic. It's pretty funny.
Tell me right now, and I'm including it in the episode. So, Brohemian Rhapsody by Blink-182. One of the band's best songs, a good song for you and me to talk about. Josiah, how do you feel about the song Bohemian Rhapsody by Blink-182?
Why do I always have to go first?
I don't know, because like I want to hedge.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I have nothing.
I'll say this. The Skype delay is like not helping our lack of commitment to this song. So like,
I have nothing to say, and yet I
good.
have like 2 hours worth of things to say.
I'm sure.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so I'll just start off with what I think is kind of the most obvious take, which is like the song is so close to being good because it's actually like a bunch of good sounding kind of classic Blink ideas, but then like the joke sucks.
Yeah. And also, I think we're so desperate for them to do like a pop punk sounding song that we think that it's so good, but it's actually like the most stock, basic entry level pop punk stuff imaginable.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
an
true.
octave
Like, if
chord
this was-
climbing a scale, and then like the one hammer on that you learn to do, and then either decide to never do hammer ons again or actually like become the band Hella and do something cool.
Yeah. It's definitely like an impression of a Tom part too, like a kind of like uninspired impression of a Tom part.
Yeah.
But like, I guess just because the whole record is kind of devoid of anything that's like this close to being like an Enema song, that you're like, like I feel like a little bit like I'm just like in a desert, you know?
Right. Plus, I mean, people, the frustrating thing is people are always like, yeah, because it is closest to an Enema song, but people are always like, oh, they were trying to recapture the Buddha days.
Yeah. And
It's
you're
like, are
no.
you insane? Yeah, I don't know. I guess, look, I don't know if you know this about me, but I have a very high tolerance for very, very bad jokes, particularly if they come from me. Yeah. So in that sense, like, I do like the economy of the joke that by changing merely one letter, it almost becomes something stupid. However, then if you break it down too much, you start looking for logic and you're like, what does that mean? I can't quite put my finger in. Is this person completely smoothed over that they have no holes whatsoever?
Right. It's like a sort of Ken doll anthem.
Yeah. Like, okay, something about you I can't quite put my finger in. Naturally, the only assumption is that this is about fingering, right? Is there anything else? I suppose it could be picking noses.
Yeah, or like, is it considered like? Are we assuming that when you are talking about fingering, are you only talking about a finger going into a like lower hole?
Right.
Like, what about, is it the same if you're fingering a mouth? Like, is that fingering in the traditional sense? Like, you wouldn't say like if you were at school and it was like, oh, like I was fingered or I fingered, you're probably referring to a like below the underpants situation.
Well, here I'm just gonna send you a link that I just found right now
About fingering?
And I love the pun because it's knows no bounds, a beginner's guide to nasophilia. And it's about people who are sexually aroused by, I guess, picking the nose.
That's cool.
Specific fantasies, such as wanting to sexually penetrate the nostrils. In an article published on the Nose Network website, it was noted that although most nasophiliacs are men, there are some women out there who do enjoy the sight of big nostrils, well-shaped wings, cute button noses, or anything else that tickles their fancy. Many people will not admit to this fetish, however, due to it not being very acceptable to society. So, I mean, perhaps these people are into sticking their finger in. I was just thinking about noses because there's a video that I found that's probably not even worth playing, but somebody is listening to this song with like 2 giggling toddlers. And then it made me think, well, perhaps to them it's just about picking a nose. And then in that sense, it becomes like one of those Shrek jokes where it's like really filthy, but it goes over the kids' heads. So in that sense, it's kind of also doing double duty where it could be nose picking or it could be bean flicking.
Are you saying you think this song is on the comedic level of Shrek? Like, that's a huge compliment.
Well, remember when, like, Shrek used to be, like you'd watch Shrek as a family, and then there'd be some some joke where Shrek's like, "You nasty pussy, you nasty sticky pussy" to the cat, and the dads would all laugh, and the kids would be like, "What? I don't get it."
No,
like, I want to yank that pussy. No, just kidding. They didn't quite do that far.
I wish that those were the jokes in Shrek. Shrek's like, "Ooh, I want to finger your nose."
But I remember there being like articles at the time and stuff too about how they were like sneaking nasty, filthy jokes into the kids' movie, and everyone loved it because the dads could giggle because it said like poo poo or whatever. But the kids didn't. Classic adult humor. I don't know. I'm not good enough at jokes to really do this, but my point is,
you just yelling, "Ooh, you're a nasty pussy" in a Shrek voice is a great joke, Josiah. Don't feel like you've let anyone down.
Now I'm thinking about the donkey being an ass, and now I'm just going off the deep end over here.
Right. Yeah, just like, "Ooh, I love ass play."
And the kids are like, "Oh, he means donkey because donkey is famously ass."
Yeah.
As a child, I know this.
Knows.
I don't know the dirty meaning.
Nope. That's kids are like 11 or 12 before they learn that an ass is also a butt, right?
But my point is, people loved how it was always double duty, how there was these jokes that I'm imagining that I don't remember any of them. But maybe this is also doing double duty.
Several just now.
Maybe this is also double duty where little kids can hear it and be like, "Oh yeah, he's talking about picking a nose," and then someone else can hear it and be like, "Oh yeah, he's talking about picking a nose, but in this fetish way that I just found."
I thought you meant that the pod had dual meanings, like that the pod is actually like a co-viewing creative pursuit. Where if you're a kid, it sounds like we're talking about the good jokes in Shrek, but if you're an adult, we're talking about the good jokes in Shrek. Yeah. So wait, what? You think that this song is designed to sort of serve the same purpose, right?
Well, I do think it's kind of subversive. It's nicely, even though the joke sucks, I appreciate the subversion of doing a filthy, nasty sex joke without saying any dirty words.
Yeah, like I wish the Queen thing wasn't so over the top. Like the idea that it's sort of the funny title joke and then just like the sort of honestly, this is one of the only times I'll say this, it's too many harms, too many goddamn harms.
Yeah, they also sound very fake.
Yeah, like that's the thing is it doesn't sound like if it was just like a killer 3-part harmony and I could like imagine it was the three of them singing it even though I'd know it wasn't, like it'd be fine. But it's not like over the top, like super compressed. Like it sounds like a bunch of it's just like pitch shifted and invented harmonies.
Yeah, it sounds like it kind of just sounds like Weird Al trying to do a punk song. Or it sounds like the recordings in Broadway Idiot, where you watch them record their version of the song and you're like, this is just too clean.
Yeah, totally.
And it sounds, I don't know, it's fucked.
No, but I think like that sort of kills a bit of the joke for me, where I actually like do think it's a pretty funny joke-ish. I don't know.
It's not, I mean, it's also not. I like changing on to in is the start of something good. Right. But then, I don't know, like, what is it about this person that you can't put your finger in them? Is it just consent? Because, I mean, that's fine if they don't want you to put your finger in.
Oh, do you think this is a consent anthem?
Maybe.
Or maybe it's, what's it called when you're, you had, like, your sexual orientation is that you're only attracted to the mind? Where you're like, I'm mind sexual. People who are like, it's just smart people of any.
Isn't that just called being in Mensa?
Right, yeah. But maybe, okay, so I'm going to look this up, but I think maybe it's about someone who is the most sexually attracted to the mind. And so it's like, it's actually a triple joke because on one hand, it's can't put my finger on, in, right? You think it's a sex joke, but it's actually not a double entendre. It's a triple entendre where it's about wanting to finger someone's brain.
Wow. Now, I think even the actual physical act of fingering someone's brain is probably a thing that someone wants to do also.
Yeah, totally. That's real. Oh,
like if someone wants to do it, if you can think of something, someone out there wants to do it.
Yeah, sorry, it's sapiosexual.
Oh, yeah.
Is where you are sexually attracted to intelligence.
Damn, no wonder I don't know any of those people.
Yeah, same.
They're just repulsed by me.
So yeah, I think this is a sapiosexual anthem. That's what it is. It's, for you and me, this is it. It is the Shrek thing, only we're the children. And so, right? We're just dumb like, oh, I love Antonio Banderas. It's like, no. It's not just Antonio Banderas, you idiot children. It's this whole other thing. It's this rallying cry for people who, up until only recently, I was not aware of this sort of disorientation being like a mainstream thing. But now we kind of all know about it, and so I'm
looking at the website ranker.com to find adult jokes in the Shrek movies that went over your head. And the number one joke is when Shrek and Donkey go visit Duloc, Shrek notices the immense height and size of Lord Farquaad's tower. He then utters this quote, implying that Farquaad might not be very well endowed. Let's see if this will play. Oh, yeah, well, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. I'm feeling very sapiosexual right now.
Like you're vamping while you wait to play.
Here we go.
Okay.
Well, that's it right there. That's Dulac. I told you I'd find it.
So, that must be Lord Farquaad's castle.
That's the place.
Do you think maybe he's compensating for something?
Yeah, Lord Farquaad has a tiny little pecker.
I don't understand, because to me the pecker is the medulla oblongata.
You know, something a lot of people don't know, and I think enough time has passed, being that it's been approximately 6 months since we last talked.
Yeah.
We, off mic, we're talking about our dicks a lot today. This is really cool.
We got like kind of fairly detailed for a call that was happening at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon before 5 hours of podcasting. But it was good. It was good to sort of like lay that all out there.
Yeah, we're talking about our Lord Farquaads.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, we've kind of established we've got a smart read of it that it's about wanting to finger someone's brain, and you can't because that's forbidden fruit for all sapiosexuals because you'll kill them instantly.
Yeah. Imagine if the only thing you wanted to fuck would kill the thing that you wanted to.
I don't know if they want to fuck. I don't know if they want to fuck the actual brain. It's probably more like the thoughts.
Oh, they want to fuck the thoughts.
They want your brain. They want your brain. Okay,
is that like the big insult for sapiosexuals? Like thought fuckers.
You know, some people like thoughts. THOTS.
Right, dude. Guaranteed that is like a hot meme in the sapiosexual community.
I think the most erotic thing to a sapiosexual is like picturing somebody creating a thought bubble, but instead of it just being a normal thought bubble, it's like a smoke ring.
Oh, wow.
Damn, now I'm becoming one. Okay, so we've established that you think that it's this high concept mindfuckery, and I think that it's just a Shrek joke about fingering, but you don't want your little kids to know what hole you're fingering, so you make them think it's about the nose. Mm-hmm. But Mark, speaking with NME, bloody NME, the music authority.
Are you doing Shrek again?
Yeah, yeah. NME was founded by Shrek, famously. I'm so glad I brought up Shrek, actually, by accident, because of what we're going to talk about in a second. But here's what Mark and Matt, when they talked about California track by track. And so we'll get the real meat on the high concept of this performance here.
Brohemian Rhapsody is a song. I went out to get coffee with John one afternoon, and he said, "You guys need to write another joke song. Do you have any like?"
That's a good job.
Yeah. He has just this incredible energy about him. And
I just want to pause right there because, first of all, Mark sounds like he's dying inside while he speaks. He doesn't want to be there at all. But then he's like, I went out for coffee with John, and just genuinely barely moves his face at all, and is like, "Oh, I want you to do a joke song." And then Matsky was like, "Wow, that's an amazing John." He's always like, And Mark's like, "Yeah." And then Mark says, he has this incredible energy to him. Like he just says between words, I guess.
Yeah, man, the classic John Feldman, style.
Yeah. The classic John Feldman.
We all know
And he
here
said,
in your
do you
bedroom.
do you have any other thoughts like built this pool or whatever? And I said, oh, well, I thought of this funny thing the other day that there's something about you I can't quite put my finger in. And he goes, oh, gosh, that's great. We gotta get back to the studio right now. And so we rushed back to the studio and picked up a guitar and wrote this thing, and it was done in half an hour.
Wow.
Incredible. What an inspirational tale.
And the rest is history.
I just love to imagine like the kind of like rock doc version of this, which is sort of appropriate for this song, where like you have that like moment of inspiration striking. Like that is sort of genuinely funny of just like, we have to get back to the studio. And that's when like they finally write Love Will Tear Us Apart, or it's like, we have to get back to the studio. And it's Elton John, doing Candle in the Wind. And you're like, wow, it's incredible. Just this idea of like John Feldman just like, man, like full on just Marlon Brando in Apocalypse
Full on
Now.
playing the character that Shrek's Mike Myers played in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yo, yeah.
He is fucking awful in that movie, and that's let's do our big reveal. Obviously,
Yes.
not obviously because it's way late now, and we've all realized that this movie sucks ass by now. By the time this comes out, but we're recording this right after Oscar weekend. And we've both watched the movie.
Yes.
And we are both ready to fucking talk about its greatness.
I am so excited to talk about the greatest film of all time, Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, I don't care about the fact that I hope by the time you're hearing this podcast, Bohemian Rhapsody has just been erased from the history books, that like the sort of handful of Oscar wins have just sort of vanished into time because we got so mad about Green Book that we kind of forgot that this even happened. But in the timeline that you and I are in right now, 3 weeks ago, we are a day after an Oscars which opened with a Queen performance and saw like multiple awards, including editing, be given to what I feel confident describing as the worst movie I've seen, like the most fundamentally incompetent and offensive movie I've seen in years.
Yeah. It's just like incredibly wrong in every way.
Like I don't remember I just don't want to be hyperbolic here. I don't remember the last movie that I saw that was this bad. So it was definitely a couple of years ago. I don't want to say this is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life, but it is easily amongst the like top 5 worst movies I've ever seen. Like just top to bottom, like insane decisions, like every single thing, in the way that like when you watch one of the classic good bad movies like Troll 2 or Birdemic or The Room,
right?
And it's like it's not enough for a movie just to be bad because usually that means it's boring. It's those sorts of movies where like every single frame something is fucked up. Like a minute doesn't go by without you wondering like how someone on set didn't stop what was happening from happening. And this movie has those qualities.
It does. Like there are multiple times. Well, first of all, because I'm such a piece of shit, there are multiple times that Sarah tried to leave the room and I paused the movie until she would come back because I didn't want to let her miss anything.
That's so nice of you.
Yeah, I thought so. But there were multiple times that I had to rewind things because there would be like there's so many quick edits, but then there's also an underrated element is the edits that linger for way too long. Where like there's like this pregnant pause before Rami Malek is like he has all that shit in his mouth. No one can ever understand anything he says. It's like so calm. We laughed at every single line of dialogue. And when he's writing the song, the title song Bohemian Rhapsody, and he pauses for a second and be like, this is bloody awesome. And like his teeth are just like
rattling
it's
around.
So funny. It is so funny. And another thing that reminded me of The Room is the way that everything is so soft focused to the point where it looks like somehow every backdrop is a green screen.
Yeah,
I don't understand why. But also, like, if you were to pitch to somebody what this movie is about, what is it about? Like, there's no tension at all. He literally, like, is like, oh, let's pool our money together and record our album. And then they record it, and then they're instantly signed and get big. And then, like, Mike Myers, who I just want to say looks like he put glue on his face and rolled around in some pubes. That's what his beard looked like. He doesn't believe in them, and then the song isn't a hit and he was right, but then it is. And also, I think Bohemian Rhapsody is ultimately a hit because Wayne's World ironically appreciated it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to imagine a time before Wayne's World, so I can't guess what the song's status in the world was like, but certainly for our generation. And I mean, there's a reason why they trotted them out at the Oscars to like introduce it, which was like also just kind of distressing. But like,
yeah. Also, Queen sucks.
I don't agree with you. I'm not like a Queen like album guy. Like I'm not a deep cut guy, but I do think that like almost every Queen hit. It's sort of the way I feel about the Killers, which is like I love all the Killers hits so much, and I've never even thought about listening to a Killers album. So like
you're missing out on a few good ones and some really bad trash.
That's sort
Maybe
of
that's
how
a good
I figure
comparison.
Queen is. Yeah.
I guess the Killers is to like hip 2000s Brooklyn rock what Queen is to like actual good rock and roll music.
Yeah,
maybe.
But like the big Queen songs are like incredible classic rock songs, but like with like weird ass twists in them that like make them transcend. Like I think I will defend Queen as a notion, like 100%.
But I guess I also just think Queen is not good enough that they deserve to be controlling their own legacy and telling these stories. Because, like, also, in terms of the LGBTQ content in this movie, there's basically none.
No,
like,
and that's what you said, there's no tension. I was like, no, there is, because the tension in this film is, like, will Freddie succumb to the sins of the gay lifestyle? Like, the villain in Bohemian Rhapsody is homosexuality. Like, that's it. There's no, they had to invent the record company villain, and he's in the movie for 2 seconds, and it's not even like he's a composite. Like, Queen had a very supportive record label. Like, there was, that never happened. So,
also, we were talking about let's finish the LGBTQ stuff first.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's also just like, not only is the conflict whether or not he will succumb to his lifestyle, but the lifestyle all happens off screen because they don't want to show. They want to keep it as like lowest common denominator PG as possible. So like literally, there's one kiss in the movie when that guy, his boyfriend, who looks like one of the Franz Ferdinand guys, he kisses him and then he pushes him away. But other than that, I feel like there's no sex scenes or anything.
No, it's like,
and all of the parties are like comically vanilla.
And they don't even flesh out that relationship. Like, the fleshed out relationship is between him and, like, Mary Austin. Like, there's no sympathetic, like, they sort of into it where they're like, oh, and then he had this good relationship, like, long after this movie finished, which, like, fine, I understand, like, but they've condensed all these other timelines. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like the film otherwise adheres to, like any sort of semblance of like the actual like timeline of events in the history of Queen's career. And so just to be like the only relationship was a relationship with a woman, it like it's baffling. Like it's truly, and I had read so much about it and kind of avoided watching. And then finally in the lead up to the Oscars, because I have a disease, like felt a compulsion to finally watch it. And so I downloaded it illegally because I don't want to give these people my money.
Right. Well, that's the other thing I was going to say is no wonder it doesn't have a cohesive plot because it was directed by an alleged pedophile, decades of allegations, who was fired halfway through because officially the report is that he almost got in a fist fight with Rami, or he did, or something happened with Rami, and he just stopped showing up to set. So even if that's the official line, that's even worse. That they're like, oh yeah, it wasn't all the decades of allegations of extreme pedophilia that have been vigorously brushed under the rug over the years, but it was because he was mean. Yeah,
that's it. That's the unforgivable sin, right? Don't be rude to stars. Like that's all that matters. But it is like it's such a baffling movie to have like made it this far. Like because when you watch Troll 2. Or when you watch The Room, you know that like it was sort of one stubborn person's vision that sort of like ended up superseding everyone else's common sense. But in the case of Bohemian Rhapsody, you're actually talking about a movie that was kind of like directed by committee, right? I mean, they had to bring in another director and like,
and the other director is the dude who's doing that Elton John one coming up. So hopefully we get to have this experience all over again.
I hope the Elton John movie is like equally just straight as fuck. Like, it's just like Elton John loved Princess Diana. They were very good friends. Like, I don't know, and just like, and even like to bring it back to the Oscars, right? Is like his speech when how do you pronounce his name? Rami?
I don't know.
No.
Rami.
I always want to call
He
him.
pronounce it like this.
I always want to call him Rami because of Rami the Minx, OG Toronto blogger, and so like that's how his name is in my head. But like, I don't know what I'm saying about him. I just like the whole thing just like utterly like baffles me that they were able to put this movie
I did a
together.
tweet about it during the Oscars that was like actually very sincere, which is that I actually am moved by the fact that it's made it this far. There's something so validating about being reminded that like pop culture is for mouth breathing invalids, and that everyone involved at every level is insanely stupid, and if you have taste you're better than everyone. Like, I actually love it. I think it's so good and satisfying because I'm sick of everything being like, oh, all the cool producers are working with all the biggest pop stars, and like, oh, you did one good indie movie, now you're gonna do a Marvel movie, and now this is how it works now. But this is just a reminder of like, there still can be just dumb pieces of shit who lap up all the awards, and every dumbass loves it because they just want to go to a movie at the mall after Chapters closes or whatever. And that's great. I love it. It gives so much more room for like cool things to be cool again instead of everyone having to like everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's true. Like, we're in this sort of flattened era where even we constantly, and I mean, more so this is obviously your drum, but like, what is good and what is bad, and like, I'm best friends with Imagine Dragons now, and I'm just like, I'm not sure what taste even means. And then this movie comes out and reminds you,
and I'm like,
no, you
fuck
can have
Dan
an
Reynolds.
Imagine, oh no, if this movie ruined your relationship with Dan, I'd be quite upset.
It can't. We have a bond that can't be broken. Not that he's written me back in a while, but
it's fine.
I know.
But
I know the vibe is there.
It is perplexing though, like to just think that this movie made it this far. Also, like in awards, like this movie took, and again, this is not a new idea, but like took one of the most like fascinating people like in popular music for the last, honestly, in the history of popular music, right?
Yeah.
And just like stripped all of the color out of his life and made this like just terrible, like objectively terrible film. Like, it's so depressing to think that like this is like, and again, I'm just regurgitating things people have heard before, but it's like, this is the movie that Freddie Mercury got, is like so fucked.
But what's even better about it is that you know that Sacha Baron Cohen was going to play him and looks exactly like him and would have made a way better movie, but he was like, oh, this movie's going to suck. I quit.
Yeah, although I do want to see the version of the movie that he backed away from, where he dies halfway through and then half of the movie is about how Queen bravely soldiered on without Freddie.
Oh, is that what it was? I just assumed that like Sacha Baron Cohen's actually ahead and knows what's cool. I was like, no, fuck this.
I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. But I remember at the time that he left, he did an interview somewhere where he basically said like, yeah, I got the script and I was reading it and I got halfway through and like Freddie died. And I was like, what? And I kind of like flipped forward and it was a movie about Queen, right? And because Queen didn't die with Freddie, the movie continued. And so at some point they obviously, focused the movie on Freddie, which made a lot more sense. But like,
oh God, I don't know.
Right?
But either way,
we should get those teeth. We should do the whole. We should have done the whole podcast with teeth in and not acknowledge it.
I was thinking of doing that. I've totally forgot, but it's weird because when I say I was thinking of doing that, I've only had about 10 minutes between episodes to think about anything.
And you should have rushed out and got some props, though.
Yeah, I should have, and FedEx them to you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it would have been worth it. It would have been worth the wait for like a couple hours or whatever.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, I could talk about this movie forever. It's so fascinating how shitty it is.
But like
I
real
love it.
people told you to watch this. This is confusing. So I was watching it. Ashley and I were watching it like just agog the entire time. Like could not fathom how this movie got made. And I think I started messaging you. I was like, "Have you seen this? You have to see it. You have to see it because it's just like the most like." Bohemian Rhapsody tries so hard to rock ass. Like this movie wants to rock ass so badly, and it doesn't. And I was like, you have to see this. But then you told me you had, and I don't want to you didn't name any names, so you don't have to throw anyone under the bus, but you said people that you know were like, you should see this movie.
I don't know if they said I
it.
should see it, but they said that they loved it. Yeah, they probably did say I should see it, which is just like, I don't know, don't tell me to see anything. Get away from me, everyone.
Right. I think we've been over that. Yeah, media recommendations are fascism to Josiah.
I actually do. I was talking to a friend the other day. I was about to recommend something, and I felt I needed to preface it by apologizing for recommending because I think it's so just disgusting to recommend things to other people.
Yeah.
It's just like so inappropriate.
So this song, while we're talking about the idea of the origin of Bohemian Rhapsody, I do think it's important to at least close off with Bohemian Rhapsody contains the most egregious song inspiration scene of any biopic, which is when the child from Jurassic Park, who spends the entire movie like making all bass players look like the biggest nerds on the planet. He's like the least.
Oh, that guy's from Jurassic Park?
It's the kid from Jurassic Park. Dr. Grant, like, you know, so when they're like fighting in the practice space and he's just sitting there and he like solves the fight by starting to play Another One Bites the Dust, like, and he's just he's just and they're in the middle of yelling at each other, but then everyone has to stop because holy shit, what's that sound? Is that the bass part from Another One Bites the Dust?
That is in every movie.
And
damn.
It's so sick. And that, like, because he's drilling holes in, like, literally the bass player is sitting there, like, so mad that the band is fighting, and the only thing he can think to do to stop it is to write on the spot the best bass part he can think of to save his band. And he does it.
I keep doing this lately, but it's just because I've now built such a library of tweets that are relevant. But this one is exactly what you just said. I wrote this in November of 2018. You can go ahead and read it. 'Cause reading my own tweet out loud is even worse.
Yeah. So this is you knew that this podcast was coming up. Every music movie has a scene where someone plays 3 notes from a major scale on a keyboard, and the other person is like, "Wait, what was that? Oh, it's just something I've been messing around with. Play it again."
Right?
Yes.
I wonder what movie I was watching when I thought.
Every
I think I was
movie,
thinking
man.
about. Yeah, like that movie Her Smell, which is going to be out this spring.
Yeah.
Is just fucking like. Oh my god, it's insane
Hearts,
how bad it
Hearts
is.
Beat Loud, I think, has like 30
Oh,
scenes
you know
like
what? That's
that.
what I was watching
Was
where I
it?
did that. I think it was either that or Band-Aid, where they like
sick.
solve their divorce. I don't know. Why is every movie about music now, and they're all horrible?
It's great. I mean, I do want to say this about Another One Bites the Dust before we move on to the song that this song is, which is that I also can't hear this without thinking of a story that I always hear from Ashley and friend of the pod, Justin's high school, where they did a talent show and a kid in, like, they were all like in OAC or grade 13. Ontario was
Grade 13.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that? That's been coming up in conversation lately with people.
Well, I don't know, man. In Ontario, it was called OAC, and
But is that like you finish high school in grade 12 everywhere else in Canada?
yeah, now you finish high school in grade 12 here too.
Oh.
But anyway.
Oh, I see.
That shit. And so they always tell the story of this kid who, like, in the 9th grade got up and was like his first year at the school, and they went to like a big high school in Etobicoke, like full high school high vibes. And this kid gets up in front of the whole school, like one of the youngest kids in the school, and it's just him and just a bass, and he starts playing boom, 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 and they're like, okay, sick. Is this kid just gonna play? Like, what's he gonna do? And then he like kind of keeps playing it, and they're like, okay, sick. When's he gonna stop? And then at some point, like maybe a minute in, they realized that he was not going to stop and was going to play the entirety of Another One Bites the Dust just on bass. And so this kid in front of an auditorium of like 1,200, 1,300 kids is just like doesn't stop for 4 minutes. And apparently, like, by the end, it had become like such a righteous celebration of this kid's ability to play the same riff over and over and over again that me, as a 34-year-old man that didn't go to that high school, has that story etched in his brain.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's great. That's like same vibe as reading a Joan Didion book at a party, I think.
I think so, yeah.
It's like that kid grew up to do that other thing.
Yeah, that kid was putting out all kinds of energy.
All right, well, we're talking, I don't know why. I mean, I don't know how to go back into bro from Bo.
No, it's
but
so hard because there's so many things to say.
I know. It's just like crazy. And the fact that they just pretend there's no director because of it. Like, did they not Google him beforehand?
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like you can't Google Bryan Singer and just get to his IMDb without there being quite a lot of baggage.
No,
even
you're just like, oh,
a year ago.
I remember X-Men. That was pretty good. And then you just sort of move on.
Like, I think he blocked a movie about a pedophile ring from getting released.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bad dude.
Remember that movie? I think it's called An Open Secret. I never watched it because it sounds kind of depressing, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather watch like Deadpool 2. You know, those are my kinds of movies.
Yeah, you fucking love Ryan Reynolds, and I haven't been bullying you enough, so you just keep talking about it lately.
It's the thing, because I'm just like, ooh, I keep getting closer to the fire. I'm like, this is fun.
All right, let's watch them play it at X Games.
Okay, sick.
I don't know why. I don't know how to fucking segue.
That was good. No, it was fine. I mean, look, we needed to get out of it somehow.
Okay, this is 2016 at the X Games.
Okay.
Blink 182 playing Brohemian Rhapsody, not Bo.
Disappointing.
Rhapsody.
Before we walk over there and play a show over there, and I hope you all join us. It's called Brohemian Rhapsody, and it goes like this.
It didn't sound that bad. Could have been worse.
Look at little peek behind the scenes here.
Everything's going very wrong.
Things are going. This is the most off the rails things have gone for us. Like, I think ever.
Yeah,
maybe.
like even I'm not gonna say anything, but also in my personal life, a whole bunch of stuff went wrong today.
Yeah,
it's like,
we said we weren't going to talk
crazy.
about it, but like we started this episode being like, okay, well, this will be fun. Well, it'll be a distraction. It'll be great. And then like we normally use Skype, and Skype like has just been like sort of absolutely shitting the bed. And so like it was crazy delay and like slapback. I was having trouble like for the first like 40 minutes. Eventually, it just like totally. I was like, I can't hear what you're saying. Let's just do a call. So we start doing a call. At which point, after like about 10 minutes of us doing, I think, some really good material about Jagmeet Singh's election in Burnaby South, the lyric video, a very genuine and startled reaction from you.
Let's pretend that none of that stuff happened. I don't really care about the Jagmeet Singh thing. That's enough Canadian politics. But let's start with the lyric video because
okay.
Sam,
are you recording? Because like, I just want to make sure everything's working again.
It is. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Josiah.
Unless you have anything else you'd like to show me first, I would love to show you the official music video that you're going to be quite surprised by in a few
wait, hold on.
moments.
Before we get into that, actually, Josiah, have you seen the lyric video, or are we going to get to the lyric video eventually?
Wow, you're really good at doing that again and making it seem natural.
Dude, I don't mean to brag, but I went to a performing arts high school, so for drama.
Why, Sam? I have not watched the lyric video. Why ever would you bring it up, my good
so
sir?
I'm sending this to you right now. Like, it's also literally the last thing I sent you.
Send
in
it
chat.
again too. Oh my god, this is so good.
So if you watch,
you sent me.
I sent you the wrong video.
I got it.
Okay, good. So Josiah, if you start,
it looks
the video,
like a normal lyric video to me, Sam.
Well, it's not, Josiah, because you'll note about 5 seconds in, they start building a Keep Calm and Blink 182 poster, like cool cut and paste zine style.
It's so horrible. Why would they do
Isn't
that?
it? It's like the most Josiah thing ever.
My reaction is still the same level of disgust as earlier when we
Yeah,
did
no,
it.
this is consistent.
It's so horrible. Well, Sam, I'm not going to keep pretending that you don't already know this, but we do need to talk about the fact that Mumford & Sons themselves star as Blink-182 in the video for this song.
What?
So they literally, it's
I
like,
actually didn't know that, though. But I want people to know that this was, in both cases, a legitimate revelation to the other one, and all of that.
yeah, it was really
enthusiasm
quite
has just been
beautiful.
Sucked out of the room.
But yeah, so it shows Blink-182's dressing room, and then they go into the dressing room, and it's not the Blink boys you've come to expect, but instead the Vineyard worship team turned rock band Mumford & Sons, dressed quite unexpectedly like some pop punk guys. Although I didn't say this to you earlier, but this one dude with a lip ring looks really bad. He's wearing like an unbuttoned red polo shirt with a tie and a sideways hat. That does not look correct at all. He looks like a really bad kind of frat boy, not a pop punk guy.
Yeah, to be honest, like they're just not that convincing.
However, as I told you just moments ago in our private conversation, when I wrote about this on Exclaim, I realized that this was the seeds of me loving not only Mumford & Sons, but all bad music at large, because I was like, damn, if Mumford & Sons can be cool, maybe everyone can be cool.
It's interesting to think that, like, this is the song that caused you to open your heart, and that Bohemian Rhapsody, while not technically connected to the song, but, you know, spiritually connected to the song, and the reason why we're doing this episode might be the thing that closes your heart right back up.
Exactly. Well, there are a whole bunch of connections, and I am glad that you figured out your flub before the next major revelation. But I want you to read, for our kind listeners, this exclaim.ca article that I posted in 2016.
So this is me reading the headline of your article for the first time. Mumford & Sons dress up as Blink-182, and then in brackets, and finally seem cool in new music video. And you've screen capped the most memorable part of the video, which is not Marcus Mumford, but a lesser son looking like he's about to suck the dick of a banana with apple balls.
Yeah, you know what? That description was better the second time. I liked it.
Thanks, man. Well, I'm glad we workshopped it. Yeah, we should just do the whole pod twice, always.
I agree, and also do all the episodes in one night again too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's like clear that all of our technology is fully up to the task.
So here's the hilarious thing. We're gonna get into this more in a second because life is a punishment. Now that you know me, but the funny thing about this is that I don't know if this inspired it or not. But there's a Mumford-style wedding band in Wales that are called Brohemian.
What?
I'm obsessed also with like high production value wedding bands who like these guys dress exactly like Mumford, and they're literally called Brohemian. I'm just gonna play this. They have a cover of The Strokes' Last Night, which is terrible, but this is a Mumford cover, so I'm gonna play it in the background. And like Brohemian is written in this fucking old timey.
Like it's a very Mumford font. Yeah.
And look at these fucking guys.
What the fuck? This is awful. If you have this band play your wedding, they should like not. It should be a test. Then you can't get married. Because
the wedding is annulled.
Immediately.
I once pitched an article to a noisy editor who will remain unnamed. And that could be two people, actually. So it is fun to leave it unnamed.
Is it because it's Slava?
I'm not saying who it was, but I pitched it to a noisy editor, but they didn't get the joke. But I thought it was hilarious. But I found a wedding band in Wales with equally embarrassing high production value, but they're called Hipster.
Oh my god!
And they all, I'm actually sad that I didn't find very many of them for all the Small Things episode, because they usually do one Blink song. But yeah, I don't know. There's this whole world of like shitty wedding bands where they do like full production value videos. But this one's called Brohemian.
Maybe instead of the pod ending with the damn it episode, as we've often assumed, it should end with the damn it episode, but also a wedding. I don't know if it's like you and me or like some other members of the nation, perhaps that are like, better suited to get married to each other. And we get Brohemian to play, or we get Brohemian and we get Hipster, like just all of the UK's top wedding bands. And it's like a, hip wedding band festival / wedding / podcast.
I think
conclusion.
Hipster is also from Wales, maybe. I don't know why. I mean, I've heard bad things about Welsh people because I watch so much British TV, but I've never heard. Oh, maybe not. They're from Cheshire Congleton. I don't know what that means. But they're called Hipster.
No, Cheshire Congleton. England is so sick.
Everyone's so lame there. It's crazy.
Or the UK or whatever, man.
Yeah. Okay. So Hipster costs 1,500 quid to play 2 60-minute sets. That's insane. That's like what, $2,500 Canadian?
I feel like as wedding, like if you hire the big cover band in Toronto is called Dwayne Gretzky, and like if you want Dwayne Gretzky to play your wedding, where they like cover Bruce Springsteen songs and Mumford & Sons songs, probably it costs like $10,000 or $15,000, or it costs that much.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. Like this is like where the real money is. To be honest, Hipster is like not charging nearly enough money.
Especially
This is
because
not
looking
market
at the photos of Hipster and of Brohemian, I'm pretty sure all of these guys were in the Britpop bands that didn't make it. Like, this is just Travis. They've just rebranded.
Oh, yeah. This is Keen. Like, these are all members of Keen.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. Okay, well, keeping it in the corporate event realm, this is just really fucked, actually. This is some sort of weird. Is this an activation? Would you say? I don't know. Is it?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, like this is just like a. I don't know what this is. Why does he not have a shirt on? You got to explain to people what's happening.
Both of them don't have shirts on. I'm about to explain it. I'm just trying to see if there's any more information on Reddit, but it's pretty much just people saying how much they hate John Feldman. So there's some sort of. Okay, this is uploaded by Straight Up Technologies, which is like. Such a fake name for a thing. But it must have just been someone in attendance, probably. This is in Mountain View, California. That's Silicon Valley, right?
Yeah.
So it's Travis.
That's where like Google is and stuff, yeah.
Travis Barker's set up on a stage, and then John Feldman is like live streaming with him. Like it's basically the streaming app that they have in Silicon Valley, the show. But this is using Cisco's telepresence technology.
Okay, well, to be honest, I'm interested, given how many various technologies have failed on you and me tonight.
Yeah.
So we should maybe like not just like be so quick to judge.
It's true. Like if we could get the Pied Piper chat going on, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, okay, Travis is on the stage in real life with drums, and then in front of like a cool brick backdrop, Feldy is like streaming in, and he's also shirtless for some reason. They're both shirtless.
Yeah, it's funny how I said he's shirtless and you had to tell me that they're both shirtless, because it's just like, that's just how Travis looks. Whereas, like, John Feldman looks naked. You know what I mean? Yeah, Travis doesn't look naked with his shirt off.
Travis looks more upsetting when he's wearing a shirt.
Totally. Feldman is like, he's fucking jacked, man.
Yeah, seriously. He's got some, like, it's also his just, like, sinister, aggressive smile. What a terrifying man. And I've heard he's so nice, which is even more terrifying.
Yeah, but he's like, I mean, how old is Feldman? Like, he's got great pecs, like great chest definition there.
Yeah, I'd love to know how his was it delts compare with Bill Billingsley's.
yeah. No, his delts are looking good, man.
In fact, that's why I'm getting PTSD from this, because Bill still constantly sends me nudes in the middle of the night, and I've just completely ignored them now because I don't know what else to do. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Just say, cool, man. Just, I mean, is he DMing them to you, like on
He's posting them. He's posting them publicly and privately. If I ignore them publicly, then he sends them privately. I've been asking Bill, bottom half only in 2019.
Hell yeah, bottoms up 2019.
Okay, so here's this fucking weird tech conference video. Does every band just eventually play a tech conference? Is this the only? Is this like the new Gilman? Is that you just go do this?
Yeah, you play
instead?
like this Cisco sales event where you're like, oh man, nothing's more punk than Cisco.
Is Cisco like modems?
Yeah, it's just like a technology company, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's also a Live Nation logo as well. So two of the big punk 2.
Yeah,
So like Discord
as they're known to us punks. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Travis. I'm here. My shirt's off. Okay. Travis.
Everyone's laughing because it's not wearing your shirt.
Yes. I think your snare drum would sound way better if you took your pants off.
I don't get it.
Hey, you know that hit song, There's Something About You I Can't Quite Put My Finger in? Yes. Let's play that song.
So it's great technology, Cisco. It does not line up whatsoever halfway through the song.
No, I don't know that it's working. It's working about as well. So this is not a solution for our podcast.
No. Also, this reminds me of like Candid Camera or something when I was a little kid. And there was this one episode. I don't know if it was Candid Camera or not, but it was when the Ninja Turtles movie came out. And this kid was like at a birthday party and they were watching the Ninja Turtles on the TV. But then the Ninja Turtles like walked off the screen and then came through the door and surprised the kid, and it was like my dream scenario. I was like, "Oh my god, this is fucking incredible!" But it just got me thinking, like, he's clearly in front of a green screen, Feldman. He's probably just like behind the curtain. Like, who are we to believe that Cisco has really show me proof that he's like in Dubai or something?
Wow, this is so cynic. Like, hold up the day's paper, the Dubai Times.
Yeah.
As you can clearly see. There's something so, like, deeply Silicon Valley about this, though. Like the
so
TV show.
depressing.
Like, just these two legends of punk
like
performing
so
for our
washed
favorite
up.
telecom, Cisco. Just like, I mean, there's really nothing wrong with this, but it's just like, there's something sort of.
There's really nothing wrong with it. Are you sure? It's
I don't know.
Also,
who am I to criticize? You know, is all.
If you're gonna do this, don't do like the song that's so fast that you actually need to perfectly hear each other in order for it to line up. Because that didn't work
I guess
at
that
all.
was the point, but then like it sort of failed. This is just sort of the kind of event that at some point, as a famous person, you end up doing because it's an easy way to make money. Like I went to a Microsoft event once; it was all Microsoft partners, and then there was just like 24 famous athletes, like in kind of little enclosures. That you could just get your photo taken with. So you could like pretend to be skating with Nancy Kerrigan or whatever.
Right.
I think like Detlef Schrempf was there. There was like a bunch of other, it was like a lot of college athletes that I'm not familiar with, but it was just like, cool. So Nancy Kerrigan just like has to hang out with a bunch of people who use like Microsoft enterprise products, take some weird photos, probably gets paid really well for those like 3 hours. Like this is
I mean, I do love that you were invited to a Microsoft convention. That really helps with...
one of my friends from from junior school worked like books Microsoft events. That was the connection. It was not that like I am like
you use your PC points.
Yeah, I'm not like an IT guy. Like I'm not getting invited to.
Like Sarah was helping with her company with a booth at broadcasters convention in Vegas, and like Sinbad just like came to her booth, which is insane. So you're right. Like, you do, but I guess that just further cements Blink-182 as like C-listers in a way.
Yeah, kind of. We're just like, cool. This is where you're at, but like, why not, man?
But also, like, don't put the drums in real life because you can't even hear the guitar anyways. And also, I have a feeling that Feldman played most of the guitar on the album because I think he might be better of a guitarist than Skiba.
Well, like, there's something about the fact that, like, he's playing this like it's their song. Like, should we play this song? And, I mean, even the description of writing it with Mark was just like they were at the, coffee shop and then, like, went back and did it. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, Feldman is more on the record than Skiba. I would have no problem believing that.
Yeah. What a world.
What a world.
So for all of your modem needs, switch to Cisco, the punk rocker's choice.
Hell yeah. I wish we had a mid-roll ad right now that was like, but joking aside, Blink-155 listeners can now get, like, this legitimately has all been sponsored by Cisco.
You can't name your company after Cisco. Like, how can you do that? It makes me think of the Thong Song all the time.
It's true, yeah. And the password is, the code is the Thong Song. Our homage.
Yeah, what a world. What a world we live in.
That's true, man. It's true.
Everyone on Reddit was just talking about how much they hate Feldman from that video. I don't know. He seems nice, but just really scary. Like, he seems like if you had like a nephew or a niece, if there was like a 5 or a 6-year-old at a family gathering and Feldman was there, he would come at the kid with that aggressive smile, trying to be like everyone's favorite uncle, but all the kid would just like start bawling its eyes out.
Right, yeah, totally. His enthusiasm seems so genuine, though. Like, when he's playing guitar, he's like looking up at Travis, just like, playing music is fun. Like, there's a real like earnest enthusiasm that like comes out of each and every one of his teeth, which you can see every time he smiles.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to actually feel too cynical about in terms of like what his intentions are and is he full of shit.
It makes you kind of want to like cheer for this era of the band, even
yeah. Even though no, not at all. But,
yeah, even though definitely no. Like, we're coming out of Dude Rancher and Cheshire season, and there's no way.
No, it's not going to happen. But if anything was going to make it happen, it would be that smile, baby.
All right. Well, I want to go into a little digression for a second here.
I will not stand for it. Not on this pod.
So, Brohemian Rhapsody is actually a very well-trod title that everyone has used a million times over and over again.
That is shocking.
Naming the song that is about as original as anything that they're trying to do right now. But including in 2007, there was a College Humor sketch that is somehow 6 minutes long, which is just unbelievably long. But they have a sketch called Brohemian Rhapsody. I haven't really watched it. I'm just going to play a little bit of it.
Okay, sick.
This is so fat to me. Hitting the ice luge is the sickest party. Open your thighs, give my bros high five, so sweet. I'm just a fat boy, taking virginities. 'Cause it's all pros, tennis hose, getting high with my bros. Anyway, this bitch blows, doesn't really matter to me.
So basically, these bros are just singing, and there's like some disembodied female legs that I guess he's been cunning. I don't know how to conjugate that word.
No, that's it. I think that's yeah.
It's weird. I guess I always assumed that like things about frat boys were making fun of frat boys, but I guess like College Humor is just like a celebration of being a piece of shit, right? It's like
Yeah, I don't think this is like a high-minded social critique. I think it's a celebration of
being a piece of shit.
Yeah, I think that's basically it.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, that is what it is.
Gotta say though, the top comment here, missed a chance to call it Bohemian Rhapsody, is true. I'm disappointed by College Humor. They should have gone 2 jokes, man.
Also,
Twice as many jokes.
Do people not see the other? There's so many comments that people think they're so wise, where they're like, "Boy, back when College Humor was about college and humor," and like that's been commented like about 10 times on here.
That's so good. Oh my god, it really is.
It's everywhere.
Wow. Like, do people just like, well, I got to get my comment off. And some of them are from like 5 years ago, and some of them are, and so many, this guy looks like Jack Black. This guy kind of looks like Jack Black. It's like, what do you, everyone just wants to be heard, Josiah.
That poor guy. Here. No one wants to hear that they look like that, even if it's true. It's true, and I'm just saying. I bet you in that guy's mind he doesn't look like Jack Black. He probably thinks that he looks like, I don't know, Ryan Reynolds. Did College Humor sell for like $1 trillion or something? This episode is cursed. Cursed.
Like you know what it is? It's the Bohemian Rhapsody curse. Like this movie had so much trouble, finally getting released into a cruel world that was not prepared to appreciate it. And we thought we could do this episode and just mock it, just have our little jokes and our digs at its pedophile director, I guess alleged pedophile director.
Yeah. But
show everyone how cool and smart we are, that we know what editing is good and we know what, depictions of people's, sexuality is good. And we were wrong. We're sorry. We have now inherited the curse. Someone's going to, say that Josiah's a pedophile now. He's going to get kicked off the pod. He's going to get replaced with like 30 different people. It's going to be exhausting.
I mean, it's funny because I'm starting to believe in the Blink-155 curse a little bit.
Right.
And I feel like
now we've cursed ourselves.
We're in this weird time zone where nothing has fully happened yet, but also nothing has not happened. So we can't really talk about it. But like a recent guest of ours is being sort of run through the ringer right now. And I do think that it is like a thing. Like I think if you're on Blink-155, your life will become much worse or much better after.
Right, but it's like a true roll of the dice.
Yeah.
So potential future listeners, just measure twice on this.
Okay.
And so this episode's Chris, I have no idea how we're going to cover that edit. No idea what's happened here, but.
Well, Sam was talking about buying shares in collegehumor.com and how it was like the future of comedy.
That's right. I was talking about how much I love, that website, and that my purchase of it was extremely worthwhile.
Well,
it's paid massive dividends.
So, College Humor had Brohemian Rhapsody, but making it even more unoriginal and even worse is the fact that there are multiple pop punk songs from the 2010s already called Brohemian Rhapsody.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's...
How many of them are we going to listen to?
We're going to listen to all the ones that I found. I just copied down a list. I copied something down wrong. Let me see if I can find this.
Oh, your untitled documents are cursed, too.
Oh, no. It's all cursed. Shit. I literally can't find it.
Well, I guess, Josiah, what are your final thoughts on Bohemian Rhapsody?
I wanted to start with that one. Okay, I'm going to start with this one instead. So I don't know who this is by. It's credited to Brian Wells, MD, which is always a good sign when someone with MD in their name has a punk website. It means that they're...
Hell yeah.
I think this band is called Younger Years, and this was uploaded 4 years ago, so 2 years before Blink's Bohemian Rhapsody, and they have a song called Bohemian Rhapsody that sounds like this.
Okay, I think I prefer the Blink version, I think. Gotta say.
Was that like... In my mind, that's a band that thinks that they're doing Lifetime, but also keeps getting booked at Fest, which is a very bad sign. Is that fair?
Yeah, totally. That's a band that perpetually is playing for 80 people at Fest, and those 80 people don't understand why they're not bigger. It's just this band is so sick. Have you heard Brian Wells, MD? And you're like, I don't know, kind of just sounds like Bad Lifetime, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
they're always playing Dirty Nellies.
Okay. I mean, that just sounds horrible.
Okay. That was for you. That was a little bit of detail for you.
It's a little bit of color that I did not want to hear. The other one, the one that I was trying to play earlier, I had to find it on Apple Music because I had found a SoundCloud. This is how terrible I am. Is I found a SoundCloud that was their burner SoundCloud that they were using to send it to labels and stuff. That's how deep I went, but I found it on Apple Music. So the band is called the Broken Bones Gentlemen's Club.
Oh, yeah.
This is from their EP entitled 3, and it's called, the subtitle of the EP is The Rise of Brohemian Rhapsody. This is their song Brohemian Rhapsody. I feel like they're the kind of band that has thinks that they know about hardcore, but they've only ever learned about hardcore through Punkorama comps, and they've never heard any other hardcore ever in their life.
Right, yeah. They're like, so there's this band, the Beatsteaks. You're like, okay, yeah. I think they're quite iconic. Yeah, that fully is from like the 23rd track on a Punkorama comp that you never got to.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things that like when we get to Short Music, Short People 3, I will be like, I don't really think I remember this song, but like I guess maybe like that's how I feel about that.
Well, also, the Broken Bones Gentlemen Club is 4 idiots from Bristol.
Oh, Bristol.
So maybe that explains it. It's like British guy hardcore, which is just funny.
Yeah, that's cool. Now I'm into it.
They're probably friends with the hair editor, so we can't be too mean to him.
No, that's true.
But finally,
I feel like yeah, it's fine.
To close out this section of punk songs from the last 10 years, also called Brohemian Rhapsody, I'd like to introduce you to the Tin Can Collective from New York, New York. It really is exactly what you'd expect with that name. They've got some real Planet X vibes going on, and they've got the lyrics so we can read along as we listen to this travesty of a song. Here we go.
When I'm nervous, I can't think. Oh, my brain, it just shuts off. Oh, I can't get out of bed, and I cannot stay asleep long enough to gain the strength in my mind to navigate through this meaningless day where all the conversations are forced and the words come out all wrong. And it's a bullshit when I crack a elusive smile. I stain my teeth with white lies and with half-truths. 'Cause every time I drink, I don't get drunk enough to dance next to you at that party. Oh, I don't let things go so easily. I hold on to everything for at least a couple of years. It's like I've got an anvil strapped to my chest, and I've been dropped in some horrible ocean where I keep sinking deeper and deeper.
It's actually not folk punk. I thought it was, but I guess what is that? Is that emo revival?
Yeah, maybe it's like some gross betweener. I don't. Ugh. I mean, look, I checked, and we have 2 friends in common on Facebook. But like, we were making fun of some fucking band like an hour ago.
That doesn't sound right.
No, and discussing how Portland is not actually cool. And I think this is a great reminder that like New York actually sucks. Like that all these places that have like the idea that this band that could just as easily be from London, Ontario is actually from like, one of the biggest, coolest cities in the world. It's just a sign that like no city is cool because cities are full of people and people start bands like the Tin Can Collective.
I mean, I am kind of also thinking, looking just at their album track listing, I'm thinking that there's a chance that you might be in this band. There's 3 songs in a row that are very Sammy. We've got I-95, followed by We Still Got All Summer.
I have written that song, yeah.
Followed by Statuesque Memories.
Oh, no, dude, this is my band. Oh, that's why I had to check. Like, even without seeing that, I immediately was like, while that was happening, I went to Facebook and I was like, who do I know? And
Aww.
At least appropriately enough, one of the friends that we have in common is Quebecois. So
okay, that sort of explains it a bit.
Yeah, like if you imagine this is like a New York by way of Quebec thing, it's like maybe explains it a bit.
Well, this is similarly off topic, but I need to play this to sort of as a palate cleanser before we get into covers.
Okay.
This is ponksbakery.bandcamp.com. This is just some deep internet shit that I found again. The artist I think is Brapsody, Braap City, and this is called Bohemian Rhapsody. So this is kind of just way off, but I just thought, you know what? Like, look at this artist, fucking insane.
I mean, I love the art. Yeah.
So here we go. It's quite literally impossible to make it any further, but
wow.
That's a full minute long.
Not sure that that's what I expected. So the cover, I think, for references, like a truck half buried in the mud. Rhapsody is in like a sort of standard, like old-timey saloon font. And the name of the album is Dip or Dab, with a dip and then a skeleton dabbing, just to drive the point home. Yeah,
this is like some deep web shit. The entire page is just like, all the album covers are terrifying, actually. This is like 4chan Bandcamp, I feel like.
This is cool.
I feel like I should close it, actually. I'm getting scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared that I'm going to get a virus.
Your computer has been hacked, like, for sure.
All right, well, do you want to get into covers or what?
No, man, I'm good.
Okay, good night.
I'm mostly just thinking about, like, I'm already in my head writing We've Still Got All Summer.
Yeah, so, okay, let's talk about that. If Sam was to write We Still Got All Summer, what would it sound like?
Oh, okay.
Like, what would the lyrics be?
Well, it would definitely go We've Still Got All Summer.
Would it repeat that, or would that just be the theme?
No, I think like it would be like a sort of semi-sarcastic, like a sort of winking nod to the notion that like the song was trying to be kind of faux deep, like, but then it would sort of resolve in some vaguely poetic way. So you'd get a like, We've Still Got All Summer, and then it'd be like, you know, like life with you is such a bummer. But then it'd be like, now that you're gone, it's hard to go on.
Okay, I'm gonna play the real We Still Got All Summer to see if it's a Sam song.
Okay.
There's a part where they say preconceived notions, which is always a good phrase to drop in your song.
Wow, you just let people know that you've read a book there. So yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, that's the energy that led me to their Facebook.
Oh, it sounds fun. It sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, totally, man.
Moving along.
Moving right along. So that was a real Bohemian Rhapsody sized pause there.
Yeah, exactly.
As you were entering or leaving the room.
What do I want to play? Okay, I'm going to skip the little kids because we've already talked about those little kids forever. I think they think it's about picking a nose because of Shrek's pussy or whatever we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, here's this person's name, Toot, Tute.
Okay, I like it.
And they've done a full band YouTube style cover, and somehow they've doubled the length of the song, so it's 51 seconds. Here we go. Oh, I see. The end of the video is just promoting their other videos.
Hell yeah. Sweet Toot. Just like an enthusiastic kid in a Blink shirt.
Yeah, like
Definitely in their
it's-
parents' house, layering and layering. There's something about you I just can't quite put my finger in.
It sounds so slick that I was really taken aback when he opened his mouth to sing and had like the stringy saliva connecting the top and bottom of his mouth. It almost looked like the elastics that you put on braces, but just made of pure boy spit.
Well, I mean, you gotta keep it wet in there to like hit those notes.
Yeah, it's true. I guess. Okay, this one is, I think, a bit of a troll post. And we haven't really talked about how much of an epic troll it is to do a pop punk song that's only 30 seconds long. That is fucking epic as all hell. Never heard of anything so absurd.
It's just like it's jokes, you know.
All right, this is by Travis Yoakum. It's a cover of Brohemian Rhapsody. Epic. The only thing more epic than a short song is doing yelling or shouting or growling vocals.
Yeah, honestly, when you growl, it's jokes.
That's so. That's such an infuriating thing to say. I love it. Did you see in this video the shot of him
The barfing?
puking? Yeah.
Yeah, and so the whole song is like it starts with like kind of a cute little kid, and then it's like
I think
getting
it's
his first
Travis's whole life story, maybe.
Yeah, I guess so, eh? And so it moves through to like him drumming, and he's in the band, and he's on stage, and then just right as soon as the lyrics come in, it's just a long still shot of a man retching into like the grass.
Very thick stream of puke as well.
It's like extremely like it's like movie puke where it looks like their entire mouth is like all like there's like 6 inches diameter of just straight puke.
Yeah, it's really good. So that was Travis, and looking at his page, we played him on the Cynical episode, I guess. So who knows? Who could ever remember that? I literally don't even know when we did that. But
it was like one of the first ones for sure. So
because it was when you coyly accused me of being cynical, and that was another thing that really set me on this journey of only liking bad things just to piss people off.
So I did this.
Yeah, exactly. You did this. This can't be the end. Okay, so let's check out this one now.
Oh no!
This band is called Cannon Hill, and they have maybe the worst band photo I've seen in a minute. It's it's jokes though.
So you can just tell, like, yeah, like these guys are funny boys. So,
I just like it's a kind of photo where you're just wishing for a bus to careen through the street.
Yeah, so they're on. I guess Canyon Hill as a band is named after Canyon Hill, the street, and so.
Well, I'm gonna double correct you that it's Cannon Hill and it's Cannon Hill Drive. It looks like here.
Jesus Christ! So important to get that right. So the whole band is on the street, sort of doing like not quite a punk jump, just like everyone get in the air. And so you've got like the guitar players all holding their guitars, the drummer's dabbing with his drumsticks. It's just a spectacular display. I mean, they look a little too old to be doing this pose. Like, definitely one of the guitar players has a full beard. Like, this is like at best a high school band.
I'm so obsessed with them. I'm looking at their band photos on Facebook, and they're so corny. They took band photos with a pool noodle in a kiddie pool.
Yeah. They're just fun, loving people.
Oh, and they take a lot of photos on Cannon Hill Drive, actually.
Do they? That's cool. Do you think they practice there? Do you think that's like...
Yeah. They're actually from Massachusetts, not Britain, which I originally thought for some reason. Possibly because this says... I guess it's because the album or whatever is called Harwichport Music Stroll, which I just thought that must be a music thing or something. But anyways, this was released last year.
So my take on Canon Drive was so hot that it crashed my computer, which I need to throw away at the end of this session. I don't know what I missed. Who cares? Go ahead.
Okay, let's listen to Cannon Hill, the new greatest band of all time.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Damn, Cannon Hill, that was their big closer.
That's Cannon Hill has my vote. They are definitely Cape Cod's best pop rock band.
Cannon Hill is definitely a Mike Schur creation.
Yeah, for sure. And I appreciate that. I appreciate all that he's brought for us.
Okay, I'm gonna play a couple more before your computer eats you.
I don't understand, man. Anyway, it's fine.
Well, let's not waste time talking about it, just in case. This is Zebra Streifen. It's called all one word. This is uploaded by Your Ton Records in 2017, and it has amassed 58 views since then. This is Zebra Streifen, all one word, with their cover of Brohemian Rhapsody.
If I think about you, then I can cry, put my finger in.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous. I feel two ways about this. One is it's kind of making me really like the song because it's just like I like the idea that because it's so compact, you can do like a dumb just joke variation on it and it doesn't wear thin. Like I'm like, that was fun. And now it's over. And I don't really have to like deal with 2.5 more minutes of it or like wondering when you're going to stop it. You know, if you've walked away and you're like you're doing something and then I'll look on Twitter in 10 minutes and see that like you posted 30 things and be like, oh, that's why I had to listen to 2 minutes of that song. So I like all of that. But also this idea that other people are kind of making jokes on top of what is already like not a funny joke, I find just very depressing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to do this funny cover of a funny song that's not funny, and so then your joke's not funny. It's like anything times 0 is still 0.
I'm afraid to show you this because it's going to crash your computer, but they do have quite an impressive website where it shows them all.
Oh no, I gotta open it up. I'm doing it.
They're so European that they're literally eating pastries and smoking cigarettes in their band photos.
Yes. Oh man, Europe is so sick.
I don't know. Maybe like when you don't speak English and you don't have a good sense of humor because you live in like Dusseldorf or whatever. Then this joke is just great because you don't even realize that it's trying to be a joke. You're just like, oh, it's short and melodic. That's funny.
Oh, humor. Like, you are not kidding. But they're not just like eating pastries. Like they're eating like little cakes with forks and stuff.
Zebra Streifen.
But try to look cool, like they're like an Iron Maiden shirt on. And it's not like a funny like
it's not
cake.
zany.
They're just like nice photos. Like they're just like if like your most normal friend posted these on Instagram, you would like not think twice about it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Do you think Zebra Streifen just means zebra stripe? Maybe.
I hope so. Do you remember that band Zebrahead?
Yeah, I've never listened to them. They always play with MXPX, and I always think, oh, maybe they're sick, but I've never bothered. Should I?
They are sick, but I think that like if you were to listen to them now, and if anyone listening to this podcast ever listened to Zebrahead, like I loved Zebrahead so fucking much, and Zebrahead is one of those things that you look back on now, and there's not a lot that I like deeply loved that I find truly embarrassing now. Like it's mostly like stuff that's kind of like Blink, but like at the worst it's like Dashboard or something.
Yeah.
You know? But like Zebrahead is straight up like pop punk, like rap pop punk, with like the worst rap imaginable and the worst like pop punk imaginable, and it's just like the most calculated, sinister, like truly just like major label boardroom assembled band. There's like scratching, and all the songs are about like girls that won't fuck you. Like it's just so awful. And I think you should listen to it because I feel like 2019 Josiah would know that it rocked ass. And like again, I want to make it clear to my other zebra heads out there, like the band is sick, and I know of which I speak because I still like can listen to those records, but they're bad.
Well, now that I'm a Zebra Stryfen fan, it's not that much of a stretch to listen to Zebrahead.
No, it's like some of it's kind of dancey too. Man, it's so good.
All right, I've got 2 left. This is very important. Please be careful. Please click this carefully so that we don't crash again. But we've been talking about how we need to sort of get deeper into Nightcore, and I found an actual band camp that is very dedicated to doing tons and tons of Nightcore. This is Kelly Pliller from Kelso, Washington, which sounds like a fictional setting from like a sitcom or something. And among her many albums include like different Falling in Reverse Nightcore albums. My Chemical Romance goes Nightcore. Marilyn Manson goes Nightcore. Multiple Melanie Martinez Nightcore. There's so much shit. But then this is from her album Punk Goes Nightcore, which also has like MXPX, Dead Milkman, All Time Low, No Effects. But she's closed it with Brohemian Rhapsody Nightcore, which is really a thing of beauty.
Amazing.
And she looks so cool.
This.
Like, look how angsty she is.
Yeah, like this whole thing feels like just like someone's cartoon of teen angst. Like it's like, but an internet incarnation of it that you don't understand as like a Gen X parent.
Yeah, exactly. All right, here we go with Punk Goes Nightcore by Kelly Pliller taking on Bohemian Rhapsody. Because other Nightcore artists don't have the bravery to go that much faster. You know what I mean?
No, like that's see, that felt much more like the proto Nightcore that I used to make.
Right.
As a disturbed teenager. That like when I listen to Nightcore, I'm like, oh, because I was doing everything like 50% or maybe more than that. Like it was just like, too much. It is like all like that. The fills are just like all noise.
Yeah, it rules.
It's so sick. Like, but this to me is like truly the perfect version of Nightcore for me. And also a reminder that I really wish that all these platforms had existed when I was a kid, because like I was so into this. I have so many CDs or, you know, just like various versions of things that I fucked around with that are just this.
Well, good thing that you found the internet when you did, because you've been able to still do a lot of useless content, especially with me. So that's good.
No, that's the problem. Is that's the only useless thing I ever made, and the internet wasn't there to document it.
Okay, we're gonna end with something that I genuinely don't understand. It's very confusing. This artist is called 5 Minutes of Spring. I feel like it's maybe a joke on 5 Seconds of Summer, but I truly don't get it. And there's all these different things that are like one song that's a 5-minute tribute to something, but so there is a Bohemian Rhapsody one. I guess it's a tribute to the movie or something.
Yeah, it looks like the photo of the poster.
But I don't know if we have to play that, and then also it's from Singapore, and the art is a pita chip telling people to repent. Like, it's like, this is very like the oatmeal.com kind of humor, I think, but I still can't really tell. Like this Bohemian Rhapsody cover from the album Old Memories by 5 Minutes of Spring is very fucked up and confusing. So I don't know if you're ready for this.
But yeah, the context clues around it are not really good clues.
Well, actually, yeah, because I just clicked the album that it's on, which is called Old Memories, and there's a bunch of tracks credited to a band called Blink 947. And there's a song called Shave Yourself Up Your Ass. All right, let's listen to the Bohemian Rhapsody cover, and then we'll see how we're feeling. I'm very confused. Like, what was that? What just happened?
I don't fucking, dude. Like, bro, I feel so weird. Like, if this episode hadn't already been like just the most fucked up thing that we've ever sort of tried to do,
Yeah.
I would have already been like that would have unsettled me. But coming at the tail end of like everything that's happened to us in the last
10 hours.
2 hours, yeah. Oh, what?
Should we?
I think I like loved it, but I also feel like it's trying to kill me.
I feel like we got to play at least one more thing. Do you want to hear "Shave Yourself Up Your Ass" or do you want to hear one of the Blink 947 songs?
Oh, I feel like I have to hear "Shave Yourself Up Your Ass."
Okay, let's check it out. Is there no lyrics? Hell yeah. Well, I gotta say, shave yourself up your ass.
That'd be our new "Shave Yourself Up Your Ass," bro.
How would you do that? Like your razor has so much grip that when you pull down on your face, it sort of sucks it down to the bottom of your body, like creating a black hole where you go up your own ass. Pulled by the Gillette Mach.
That's some Mach 4 shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I was thinking of it more as like almost instructional, like. Josiah, you know, you're looking kind of scraggly. You need to shave yourself, but like being more instructional and intimate and saying you got to shave yourself up your ass, and then it's you doubled over, sort of like in a self-suck position and shaving all the way up and into your own ass.
Right. I mean, both. We'll never know. I think in this case there can be no death of the author because there is just it's impossible to parse what's going on this enormously deep Bandcamp that includes so many bizarre tributes, including Infinite, an unofficial album of Marvel Studios' Avengers Infinity War and Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame. Like, this is the most fucked up thing I've ever. Why is Bandcamp getting weirder and weirder?
I don't know, but it is like very sick to be this confused by something that I feel like I should understand.
Yeah, especially at this point, like I feel like nothing can surprise us anymore, and yet here we are. The last
shout out Singapore.
The last Hair Blender EP by Blink 947. I think we might have to do a exclusive about Blink 947.
I did a quick Google at one point. I'm not getting a lot of information. It's mostly from the 5 Minutes of Spring Bandcamp page.
Well, there are about 15 songs credited to Blink 947, so we'll have to do exclusive about that one day.
Okay, cool. So, Josiah, what are your final thoughts on the song Brohemian Rhapsody by Blink-182?
I just checked, and I haven't been recording at all this entire time.